Welcome back to the cryptowrld channel, everyone. My name is Josh, and right now, Bitcoin is breaking out further towards the upside, playing out the bullish divergence and playing out a short squeeze, liquidating a bunch of short positions to the upside, while the US stock market is exploding into new all-time record highs, which I'll talk about in just a moment and why that is important for the crypto price charts. And right now, Bitcoin is also running into this exact area of resistance, which we need to pay attention to. So in just a moment, I'll be sharing with you exactly how I'm planning to make a lot of easy profits from the next Bitcoin move, which is now starting, while Ethereum is also massively breaking out towards the upside, heading towards my next price target. But in the meantime, we're now running into this exact area of resistance in the short term. So I'll be talking about all of that and so much more later in the video. So definitely watch to the end. First of all, just before taking a look at the Bitcoin and crypto charts today, we need to talk about the US stock market, because this right here is the S&P 500 index on the daily time frame. And right now, as of recording this video, the US stock market, the S&P 500, the Nasdaq 100 are currently exploding into new all-time highs. We saw a huge open this morning, and it's so far, as of recording this video, continuing further towards the upside, breaking out into record highs, having a major spike towards the upside. And this is happening potentially due to the news that the US and China are coming to an agreement on a trade deal, which was basically the opposite of what we saw back here a couple of weeks ago, around 1 to 2 weeks ago. Obviously, we had that crazy liquidation event right around here in the Bitcoin price chart, in the crypto charts. Obviously, a couple of weeks ago, huge drop in the stock market as well, because it was at that time where, of course, the US, really President Trump, announced massive new tariffs on China, whereas right now, what is happening is basically the exact opposite. US and China potentially coming to an agreement, which is causing markets to soar into new all-time highs in the case of the US stock market here. And in case you're new to all of this, of course, a lot of major markets are highly correlated to each other. So if the US stock market is soaring into all-time highs, that's really going to help Bitcoin and crypto as well. In fact, pretty much all of Bitcoin's bear markets, major bear markets where we see 70% drawdowns, 80% drawdowns, all of those major bearish times, the bear markets, only really occur when we see a lot of uncertainty or a lot of bearish price action in the US stock market. We never really have a Bitcoin bear market while the US stock market is soaring into all-time highs. And so this is actually great news for the crypto holders out there. Even if you're not in stocks, it's definitely worth paying attention to what the US stock market is doing to basically give us a good idea on the macro situation for the crypto market. So once again, right now, it's unlikely a bear market will start while the stock market is performing like this. And with that being said, if we're taking a look at the Bitcoin price charts today on the weekly time frame, the super trend indicator is still sitting in the green, indicating a larger bull market. But on this weekly Bitcoin price chart, we still have a massive bearish divergence to watch out for, which ultimately tells us that we're still taking a bit of a break or a pause during the bull market. So once again, technically still within the bull market, but obviously the bull market is not a straight line towards the upside. We see a lot of periods within the bull market where we might play out a sideways consolidation, maybe a bit of a pullback here and there. Obviously, it's not a straight line towards the upside. So right now, we're on one of those cool-off periods where we are currently lacking bullish momentum on the larger time frames, and this could likely continue over the coming weeks, maybe over the next 1 month, while this bearish divergence is playing out on the weekly time frame. But remember, a bearish divergence by itself does not guarantee that the bull market is over. And if we're taking a look at this daily Bitcoin price chart, it's now pretty much safe to say that this fractal right here, history repeating, is no longer playing out. Obviously, already over the last few days, I've been talking about this breakout in the price of Bitcoin above this line right here. And that was ultimately the invalidation signal that I've been talking about here on the channel to invalidate this fractal, because obviously we're seeing very similar price action for the last couple of months or so compared to what we saw back here near the end of 2024, entering into early 2025. But like I've said many times recently, the point of invalidation where that would start to change and flip a bit more bullish again in the short term, and expecting more bullish price action to come in the coming days or maybe the next week or so, just in the short term, would be if we see a breakout above this line right here, which we did already see over the last few days, a couple of days ago, which I've already been talking about over the last couple of days. And so here on this daily Bitcoin price chart, once again, we are continuing the bullish breakout back above this important line on the price chart, which at the time of the breakout was sitting at roughly 110.5k. So basically, the moment we broke out above 110.5k, that was the signal to start flipping much more bullish again, at least in the short term, for the following days or possibly weeks. Once again, I've been saying that since before the breakout. I said, get prepared. If we break this line right here, expect more short-term bullish price action to follow. But remember, understand the difference between the different timeframes. This is talking about the somewhat shorter term, obviously short-term bearish, short-term bullish moves, but overall, we are currently still within basically a larger sideways consolidation. Once again, if we're zooming out, looking at the bigger picture on the weekly timeframe, still playing out this larger bearish divergence, lacking bullish momentum, which contains both short-term bearish and short-term bullish price action. So right now, we're simply on one of those moves where we are currently seeing short-term bullish price action, but potentially still within a larger sideways consolidation, as we could see right here. And if we're taking a look at this 6-hour Bitcoin price chart, obviously over the last one day, we perfectly broke out above this area of resistance, which I talked about in my last video before the breakout. I said, get ready very, very soon. It's very likely we're going to break out here above this resistance. And I said in my last video before the breakout, I said, once we break out above 112k, basically expect to move up towards 116,000 and then expect a decent amount of resistance. That's really the next significant resistance towards the upside above 112k. And what did we see? Well, we saw pretty much exactly that. You can even watch my last video. This is what I said. Once we break out above 112k, I said maybe we could find a small amount of resistance at 113.5k, but really the next significant level of resistance is in between around 115.5k to 116k based on this previous high. And that's exactly what we saw as predicted, a breakout above 112k, exactly moving towards 116k, and so far, as of recording this video, finding resistance at that exact level on the price chart. And also, we still have an active bullish divergence here on the 6-hour Bitcoin price chart. It's not yet confirmed any invalidation signals. So obviously, this is still influencing the price of Bitcoin, causing this bullish relief. In other words, basically a short-term bullish trend on the smaller timeframes. But once again, expect the price to struggle or possibly reject from these certain points of resistance along the way. And we've also pretty much just brushed against overbought here in the 6-hour Bitcoin RSI, which is also another short-term signal telling us that we're likely going to see a very slight little cool off here, but potentially still within the short-term bullish trend. So once again, understand the difference between the different timeframes. On the small timeframes, like the hour charts, the 6-hour chart here, short-term bullish trend is the current situation. On the weekly time frame, a larger sideways consolidation, or the daily time frame, for example, larger sideways consolidation consisting of short-term bullish and short-term bearish trends. Right now, we're in a short-term bullish trend in a larger sideways consolidation within a much larger bull market. But just in the immediate short term, for the next few hours or the next one day, expect the price to struggle a little bit around this resistance, kind of like what we saw at this previous resistance. Obviously, we saw a lot of struggle right here, and especially due to the fact that we're cooling off from close to overbought. Once again, expect the price to have a slight little cool off like this before potentially continuing higher later on, especially if the US stock market continues performing like this. Once again, that can really help Bitcoin and crypto. And on top of all of that, we've also just seen a bit of a short squeeze, wiping out a bunch of liquidity towards the upside, which I've already been talking about over the last few days. First of all, we had a lot of liquidity building just above 114,000, and also liquidity building at around 116,000, which are the price targets that I've been talking about over the last few days. Since these much lower prices, I've been targeting these levels right here as the next major levels of liquidity towards the upside, drawing the price towards the upside to liquidate those short positions, causing a short squeeze. So once again, that's basically just what happened over the last one day or so, a bit of a short-term short squeeze. But now we've already hit those levels of liquidity, now running into a bit of resistance and also close to overbought. So we're likely going to start to struggle a little bit in the immediate short term, but maybe in a few days from now, possibly continue this shorter term bullish trend after first a little bit of an immediate struggle. And so if we consider all of that information and put it into a trading strategy, what am I currently doing to actually trade this and profit from the next Bitcoin move coming very soon? Well, right now, I'm still in the same trading strategy that I've been talking about every day for around a week and a half now on the channel, which is continuing to make easy passive profits in this crypto market. because basically every day since all the way down here, I've been betting on some sort of bounce or recovery happening in the price of Bitcoin, but it didn't necessarily have to happen straight away like this. Obviously, with a long position, for example, you kind of need to see the bounce happen straight away. But if you're in a futures grid bot, like what I'm currently in right now, even if we were to see a further drop, another 10 or 20% drop, and then ultimately bouncing and recovering, this trading strategy would still make money even in that situation. And of course, if we see an immediate bounce, like what we pretty much saw right here over the last 1 week, this trading strategy would also still make money. And so basically, I was putting my money where my mouth was and saying, and also betting on more bullish price action coming, whether that happened after or before some sort of pullback, it doesn't matter. As long as we see some sort of decent bounce, this trading strategy will make money. That's exactly what I've been sharing every day for a week and a half now on the channel, which you can clearly see. You can see when I open this trade right here. In fact, on this page right here, I'll leave a link to this page where you can actually copy this trading strategy using the second link below this video. The second link below the video will take you to this page right here, where you can actually see this trading strategy has been running for about 10 days now, extremely profitable. You can see it for yourself. The numbers do not lie. And so hopefully some of you that have been watching my videos over the last 1 to 2 weeks, hopefully you should be making some easy profits right now. There's really no excuse as to why you should not be making easy profits in the market right now if you have been watching my videos over the last 1 to 2 weeks, or copying my trading strategy here with a single click of a button to make some easy profits like what I'm currently doing. But in order to actually copy this trading strategy, because it's set up over on my Pinex account, you also need to have a Pinex account, which only takes about a minute to make a Pinex account over on the Pinex crypto exchange. But once again, you have to set up an account and you have to actually use the link below the video to actually make your account. Otherwise, this copy button simply will not work, unfortunately. And if you actually use the first link below the video to Pinex, that link will take you to this page right here, where you can also claim some massive bonuses. For example, if you simply just make an account, complete KYC 2, you get a 50 USDT bonus onto your Pinex account. And there's also deposit bonuses. If you deposit just 100 USDT, you get a 100 USDT bonus. If you deposit 10,000, you get a 1,000 USDT bonus onto your Pinex account. Essentially free money from the exchange, which you can actually use to open these trading strategies right here, to copy my trading strategy using this massive bonus right here from making deposits. But once again, all of these bonuses right here are only available if you're using the link below the video to actually make your Pinex account. And once again, if you want to copy this trading strategy of mine, that's also only available if you're actually making a Pinex account using the link below the video. So you might as well check it out. Once again, first and second link below the video. But that's basically an update on my trading strategy. Not a lot has changed over the last 1 day, because why change anything when everything is still playing out as predicted and everything is still making easy profits? And with that being said, if we're taking a look at the Bitcoin dominance chart on the daily time frame, right now the Bitcoin dominance is still playing out this bullish divergence as expected, which means continue to expect just a slight bullish relief as a very likely scenario for the Bitcoin dominance in the coming days or possibly weeks, as we start to move closer towards this area of resistance in the Bitcoin dominance, which basically means in the next few days or in the next 1 or 2 weeks, expect a lot of the major altcoins on average to either perform very similar to Bitcoin or maybe slightly underperform Bitcoin as a very likely scenario. And if we're taking a look at the price of Ethereum on the 3-day time frame, right now the price of ETH is continuing to bounce from pretty much this exact area of support here in between roughly 3.9k to 4.1k. So not a lot has changed on this chart over the last 1 day. And if we're taking a look at the daily Ethereum price chart, right now we're still playing out this bullish divergence, which means overall expect either some choppy sideways price action, which for the most part has been playing out over the last couple of weeks since the bullish divergence confirmed, or potentially a slight bullish relief as the most common outcomes, the most likely outcomes from a bullish divergence. So basically the price action that we've been seeing since it confirmed is likely going to continue a little longer here. And if we're taking a look at the 8-hour Ethereum price chart, just over the last few hours or so, over the last 1 day, we perfectly ran into my exact area of resistance, sitting in between around 42.50 to 42.80, and then perfectly rejected from that exact area. And of course, that's happened after we also just broke out above this previous area of resistance here, sitting in between around 40.60 to 4.1k. So it's looking likely, as of recording this video, that we could be about to retest this area, and that could likely now act as new support. Once again, in between 40.60 to 4.1k, expect some support around there. But if the price were to actually break back below that area, in that situation, the next short-term support I'll be watching would be sitting at around 39.60. And of course, we also have significant support all the way down here in between around 37.20 to 37.60. But once again, the immediate support to watch out for is in between 40.60 to 4.1k, immediate resistance in between 42.50 to 42.80. And if we're taking a look at the shorter term on the 4-hour Ethereum price chart right now, and over the last one day, the price of ETH perfectly broke out towards the upside from this symmetrical triangle pattern, also known as a horizontal triangle pattern, which I talked about in my last video, sharing with you a trading opportunity. I said once we break out above this line right here, sitting at roughly around 4,000, slightly under 4,000, once we confirm that breakout, which we did right here, this candle close right here on the 4-hour time frame that confirmed at around 4,044 approximately. That moment was the confirmation signal that we have confirmed the breakout. We've activated the bullish price target. So for example, if you entered a long position right here, and then as the traders move further into profits, if you moved your stop loss at least at break even, ideally moving a stop loss slightly into profits, essentially you've now secured easy profits from this breakout trading opportunity, which I shared in my last video before it happened. And so once again, this is why it is so important to subscribe to the channel with notifications turned on so that you don't miss out on any of these trading opportunities where you can make quick and easy profits in the crypto market, like what I've been doing and showing here on this channel. And of course, right now we've made it roughly halfway between the breakout and the price target, which, in case you're new to the channel, in case you missed my last video, the technical price target for this bullish breakout is sitting at roughly around 45.70, so just above 4.5k. And once again, we've made it roughly halfway from the breakout to that price target. So from the point of the breakout to where we've made it so far, it's been around a 7% move towards the upside, all the way towards the price target, around a 15% move roughly, or from where we are right now as of recording this video to that price target, still around a 10% move towards the upside, potentially still to go. But there's a couple important factors that we need to consider. First of all, if the price of ETH breaks back below the point of the breakout at roughly 39.70, that would invalidate the breakout, invalidate the pattern, and invalidate the price target altogether. So keep that in mind. And of course, we also cannot ignore points of resistance where the price could potentially struggle at or reject from along the way towards the price target, like for example this exact area of resistance that I've been talking about for a while now on the channel, in between 42.50 to 42.80, which we just perfectly rejected from as a point of resistance. And so once again, that is the immediate resistance to watch out for. But if we confirm a breakout where the candle close, for example, on the 8-hour time frame above around 42.80 and actually hold above that level, in that situation, the next point of resistance to watch out for is at roughly 44.50 to 4.5k. So that's ultimately the next resistance between the price and this price target if we first break out above this area in between around 42.50 to 42.80. But obviously, if you followed the trading strategy, which I shared in my last video, longing the move the moment we saw a breakout above this line right here, congratulations. Right now, you should be making easy profits in the market. And of course, if you want to take trades like this, long positions or short positions to take profits from a breakout trade like this, personally, for those sort of trades, I like to use 2bit as another exchange out there and no KYC exchange. So I'll also make sure to leave a link to 2bit below the video. The third link below the video will take you to this page right here, where you can also claim massive bonuses over on 2bit. For example, simply just by depositing and trading crypto, you can get up to 10,000 USDT in trial fund bonuses and 8,000 USDT in actual withdrawable stablecoins just by depositing and trading crypto using that link below the video to 2bit. And on top of that, without making any deposits or any trades, you can also get a free 30 USDT trial fund bonus and 1 month free VIP 3 upgrade. So basically very cheap trading fees and essentially free money from the exchange just by simply making an account. It takes about 60 seconds to do this using that third link below the video to 2bit. And once again, in case you're wondering, 2bit is also a no KYC exchange. But with that being said, taking a look at Solana on the 2-day time frame, and right now, as of recording this video, Solana is getting very close to breaking out above this area of resistance, which has been holding down the price over the last week or so. That's sitting in between around 190 190 to 200. And if we confirm this breakout above 200, in that situation, the next area of resistance, the next short-term resistance I'll be watching sitting at around $209, give or take. And as for support, in case we saw another rejection here, in that situation, expect a lot of support in between roughly 170 to 175. And of course, if we confirm the breakout above 200, expect that area in between 190 to 200 to become a new support again. And if we're taking a look at the slightly shorter term, right now the price of Solana is basically just relatively chopping around sideways and also playing out a slight bullish relief, very similar to what I've been saying for Bitcoin and Ethereum. So ultimately, just expect very similar price action for Solana as what I said earlier in the video for Ethereum and Bitcoin. And especially if the US stock market continues pumping, that's really going to help a lot of these crypto assets. But once again, it's not going to be a straight line. We're going to run into resistance along the way, causing slight little setbacks and cool-offs. But overall, the shorter term situation is currently more bullish than it is bearish for a lot of these major crypto assets. And if we're taking a look at the price of XRP on the daily time frame, right now we've just perfectly run into my exact area of resistance, sitting in between around $2.60 to $2.70, and so far perfectly struggling and starting to possibly reject from that area. So once again, as I've been saying for a long time now, expect a lot of resistance in between $2.60 to $2.70. But if we confirm a daily candle close above $2.70 and actually hold above that level, in that situation, we could likely see a move up towards around $2.88, give or take. And if we break it above that level, the next major target of mine would be sitting at close to $3.10. And we are also still playing out these shorter term bullish divergence on the daily XRP price chart, which means continue to expect a bullish relief as a very likely scenario, or potentially a bit of choppy sideways price action here and there, kind of like what we've seen over the last 1 week, 1.5 weeks. Expect that to likely continue moving forward in the coming days here. But once again, it's not going to be a straight line. We're going to run into resistance, and those points of resistance are the most likely points on the price chart where the price will start to struggle or possibly reject from in the immediate short term. So that's the current situation on the daily time frame. And if we're taking a look at the 8-hour XRP price chart, we still have an active inverse head and shoulders pattern, a bullish price pattern still playing out, which I talked about in my last video, with a bullish price target at around $2.88. And right now we've made it roughly halfway between the point of the breakout and the price target. So from the point of the breakout at roughly $2.50 to where we are right now, it's about 5%, to the local high about 7%, to the price target about 15%. So from where we are right now as of recording the video to that price target, still potentially about a 10% move towards the upside still to go. But remember, between the current price and that price target, we have a lot of resistance right here, which I've been warning about for a long time, since before we hit that area, sitting in between 260 to 270 as a major area of resistance that we need to watch out for. But once we clear 270, basically expect a continued move towards that price target. And as always, if we break back below the point of the breakout right here, so if we break back below around $2.50, that would completely invalidate the breakout, invalidate the pattern, and invalidate the price target. And if we're taking a look at the price of Chainlink on the daily time frame, it's a similar situation for Chainlink as what I just said for XRP, currently playing out a shorter term bullish divergence on the daily time frame, but also getting close to running into some major resistance here. So ultimately expect a slight bullish relief to continue as a very likely scenario in the coming days or possibly weeks, especially if Bitcoin and other major altcoins continue the same. But once again, it's not going to be a straight line towards the upside. We're going to run into points of resistance, or get close to points of resistance and start to struggle around those areas. For example, at roughly $19 to $20, but especially in between $19.50 to $20 as a strong area of resistance to watch out for. And if we break out above that area in the immediate short term, that'll be an extremely bullish signal that will start to finally form some bullish price structure on the daily time frame. If we confirm a breakout above $20 and hold above that level, in that situation, expect to move at least up towards $22. But once again, right now in the immediate short term, we're still struggling at roughly $19 to $20 as the immediate resistance to watch out for, but also still have an active bullish divergence, which means continue to expect the price to press up against that resistance in the coming days as a very likely scenario. Once again, especially if Bitcoin and the rest of the crypto market continue to play out this shorter term bullish trend or a short-term bullish relief. And so overall, those are my expectations for what is most likely going to happen for all of these crypto assets and really most of the crypto market, most of the major altcoins out there, and the key levels to watch out for, and of course sharing my exact trading strategies, sharing with you completely for free here on YouTube how to make easy money right now and actually showing how to do it myself with my own money, proving it that it is that easy. You can easily make money in the crypto market simply just by watching my videos, and hopefully you're doing the same. As always, not financial advice, but once again, if you want to take any of these trading opportunities, get set up, ready to go using the links below the video to those exchanges. If you want to claim the major bonuses that are only available using those links, or copy my trading strategy using those links. And if you want to actually know how you can take these trades for yourself, then make sure to watch these videos popping up right here on your screen. The video in the top left shows you how you can profit using long positions or short positions during bullish or bearish price action, and the video in the bottom left shows you how you can easily profit from choppy sideways price action. But anyway, that is everything that I have to say for today. I really hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you all in the next video.